Okay, so I'm gonna start playing a chess 960 game. This means the position of the chess game is random. Up to a certain extent, there are some restrictions, being that the king has to be inside these squares, as far as I know. Um, and that means there's 960 positions. That's a lot of positions. That is all I have to say about that. And it's taken a while to get a game, which is honestly pretty common for Chess 960. Maybe if I stream in the future, I should wait until I get a game. I think that's what some people do, and that's why uh, if you open their stream, they're already playing. Um, this chess game's over, I think. I don't know why I'm watching this. I've heard this guy's name before, Alex Rustomov. He's got a smiley face there. I like that. He's got his tongue out. Maybe trying to lick some people. I don't know. Mm. This is normal chess. So the difference between normal chess and chess 960 is this is always the same. And that means the bishops are always going to be moving to these squares. So if you imagine the bishop on this square, it's going to go to different squares. Or here, these squares. So it really changes the layout of the game. And I like to look at the bishops first. Uh, and if they're in the center of the board, then they're not going to go to this important diagonal. This is important to chess. This is the longest diagonal because it's in the center. Right, it crosses the center. This square does not cross the center. The center is right here. So usually you want your bishops like right here and right here. That's what you see in a lot of chess games because it's on the longest diagonal. And this is it's kind of a misnomer because a bishop right here is good in a general case. But the bishop might be best placed on like this square because it's pointing at this pawn which is close to the king. So it's not really about always getting your bishop to this diagonal. But if you in the beginning of the game, if you want to put your bishop somewhere, it's good to put it here because it's pointing at the rook. It's got this long diagonal, this center. So that's the bishops. The knights are kind of tricky. I don't even know. It's hard to get at the perfect square for a knight. What you can talk about is this is taking way too long for a 960 game, so I'm just gonna play a rapid game. I'm setting it up here. I think 15-10 is good. You know what? I changed my mind. We're going to go 10 minutes. And the reason for that being, I think 10 minutes is like it's enough to have about 30 seconds to a move, to actually think about your moves. 15 minutes, you're talking about more like 45 seconds or a minute for a move, for important moves. I'm going to play the Sicilian. It's just the opening I've been playing. I should explain my moves here. What just happened, I'll go over that. These two moves are playing on the center. It's all about the center, these 4 squares. So he played in the center. And what you don't want is 2 pawns in the center. So this move, along with this move, control this square, which is the move he wants to play. It's all about the center. Except when it's about the edges. Like, so that's the thing people say is the center is the most important. But just like the bishops being on this square, the center square, sometimes you want them on the edge. So if the king is over here on the edge, then you're going to want to put your pieces towards the edge. So it's about the center, usually in the starting parts of the game, and then it becomes about the edges if the king is on the edge. So let's go to the game here. We wasted some time talking. The move I play, you could play a lot of moves here. You could open up this bishop to talk to play that bishop move I was talking about to the center diagonal. But I play this move right here, knight c6, and that challenges this strong knight. If you want to talk generally about the knights are strong in the center because they have these more options. So it's like in a soccer game. You want to have a lot of people to pass to. You want a lot of options. And that's what the knight does in the center. It has options. A knight on the edge does not have as many options. We could take that. That'd be like it'd be a decent move, but it's not the best because we don't want to trade first. We want to hold our piece here and save our move. It spins a move to take. So I'm thinking about this move. Those look like the 3 options, or knight here. Knight here attacks this pawn. It forces a defense. That kind of helps him. I'm going to go with this move. It's what we talked about before, the center diagonal. It's all about the center. You can say that about a lot of games, about a lot of ideas. But on the other hand, sometimes the edges are important. It's important in chess sometimes. But what I went to school for, programming, you do this thing called checking edge cases. So that's when, let's say you have a box with a date on it, and the date is for an upcoming appointment. Whenever you make an appointment, it's going to be in the future, or an hour from now, close to the present. It's never going to be in the past. So the edge is the present, and the edge is also the end of the future, if that's a thing. That sounds weird to say. So in programming, you check edge cases. And this happens in games a lot too. In chess, you want to check the edge options. You want to check even if it's bad. You want to check it to make sure it's not a move that could be good. If you play this move, the next move is probably going to be to put your bishop here. We've spent I started with 10 minutes, so I've already spent 4 minutes. He's or they have spent 1 minute and 30 seconds. So he has about 70-80% of the time we do, so we have to play a little faster. I'm not going to pre-move any move. That's what the best player, Magnus Carlsen, said. So I'm going to follow that. Pre-moving is dangerous because you don't really know what the opponent is going to play. There are some safe pre-moves. I'm thinking about these two moves. They both develop a piece. This one attacks a pawn. This one is a little slower. It doesn't attack something. If I put my bishop here, whenever I put my knight here, I can't jump to this square, which I actually want to do, so I'm going to play knight here with the idea of going here. So this is like a standard Sicilian position. I've spent probably too much time talking, or like too much time moving. I'm not used to talking and playing at the same time. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to have to start playing faster, so that means I do have to check the time more often. So I'm going to remind myself of that, to check the time. And we're going to hope our opponent plays slower than we do in the next 10 moves. So our next move is like this, or castle. That's an option. So this move threatens bishop h6. And that's strong because it forces my bishop to move. My bishop has no squares to move. Our original idea was to play this next. And I think I am going to do that. I have low time, so I have to think of my first option here. I kind of have to go with my first option. I'm quickly looking at other options like this, or takes, or knight here. And those are all right. But I really like protecting this square because pawn to e5 is a common move in this opening, and I think this stops it. I'm thinking about this attack. This is common in Sicilians too. But it's kind of weird for him to play his queen aligned with this bishop and not trade it off. Next move I'm looking at bringing my knights to the center. What of those moves? The counter to that is I'm seeing if I play knight here, they would have to move their bishop. And then I would get another move. But then they would play this pawn, and if my knight is on the square, it attacks that square. Gotta play fast, so let's go with our first options here, which is these two moves. So we have about 3.5 minutes. Our opponent has 5.5. 2 more minutes. It's getting a little more equal, but we still have to play fast. No explanation, just playing this. Well, there is an explanation. Is we want to attack his queen side, or his queen side. This move is probably what I'm looking at. I can play knight here, attack the bishop. In these positions. Oh, so they did play this move. So what was I gonna play? Oh, here to attack the bishop. Yeah, this seems decent. It's threatening. Okay. I didn't expect that. I think I'm forced to take it. I could have. If I took this knight, they could take my queen. Trading bishops. This is almost forced. I could bring my knight back here, but I'm scared of this pawn push. This pawn push is very common in this Sicilian position. One option is to castle, protect my bishop. I could take, usually taking isn't advantageous to us. I'm gonna play pretty fast here. We're getting behind even more on time. I'm not gonna pre-move that. I think pre-moves are on like a little confusing to some viewers too. When you want to see what the opponent did and the response to it. If you do this, it's a little confusing. I have absolutely no idea what my opponent is going to play next. They've gotten most of their pieces out, so maybe it's going to be their other pieces, their rooks that are going to get into the game. That seems like a good move. They could push the knight, but the knight has 2 squares to go to. This is the edge, so if I have low time, I'm probably going to just play this. Because the general rule is the knight on the edge is worse. So we're going to go with the general rule instead of calculating, just because we have less time. Oh, so our opponent has only 2 minutes left. 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes. So we're catching up on time. I think that's honestly a mistake. If I had more pressure, I think I might be forced to make this mistake. This move might be a mistake because of this pawn push. And I don't have time to really calculate the difference. I do have some time, but it's a little difficult to go down the whole cascade. I'm just looking at this now to force the bishop to trade. I don't necessarily want to force a trade, but this does upgrade our pawn. It protects it. It makes this nice line. So it's almost certainly an upgrade. The downgrade to this move is it unprotects these squares. And this square is already covered, so we can ignore that. So it unprotects this square, and the knight is happy to go there. So maybe this is worse than I think. It looks like an upgrade, but it might be a downgrade. Oh. Well. Gribble02. Where are they from? Poland. They're choking. They're in their room right now on their computer, choking on water. Choking on something. Because they're not moving, so I don't know what else they're doing. "15 seconds. So this is at the point where I could put on time pressure. Now I can pre-move. I like pre-moving at lower time. So you don't want to pre-move when you do have time, but you almost have to pre-move at low time. And this means even for your opponent, you want to put pressure on them. So I don't know what happened. It feels like they just disconnected pretty much. So that's going to be all for this stream. I'm just going to play one game. And we'll be back sometime, probably tomorrow, to play another game. And that's all, folks.